Hi friends, this is Anna with Scrapping, Stamping, and Stuff. I'm back with another video about the new Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. In this video, I want to answer some questions about how this new machine compares to our old machine, the Big Shot. I've been getting a lot of questions about how the new one compares to the old one. What are some of the differences? Is it really different? Is it really worth switching? So in this video, I'm going to answer many of those questions and compare the two machines. So if you missed my first video in this series, I talked all about this new machine, the features, how it works, all sorts of things about it, some of the benefits of it. So make sure you check out that video if you haven't seen it yet. Okay, so let's talk about some of these features of these machines. First, I'm going to talk about a couple of the things that are the same with them, which I know it's a little bit hard to see in this video, but if you aren't able to see everything here, you can see all about this new one in some of my other videos. So things that are the same, they both have a nice comfortable handle on the tops of the machines that you can use to carry them. It's also that place you're going to want to place your second hand to secure the machine when you're cranking your project through. They both have a nice comfortable crank that you will be using with some cushioning to make that comfortable for you. They both have anti-skid feet on the bottom so they don't scoot around on your surface when you're working with them. They both have really sturdy and durable construction to make sure they're going to work for years to come. And you should be able to use both machines with all of your dies and your embossing folders in your collection. So let's talk about a few differences. Okay, first, it's pretty easy to tell there's a definite difference in appearance. This machine is all black. This machine is white, silver, and gray, which I am loving. I love how bright and sleek and clean it looks on my craft table. So the appearance is different. Another main difference is that this new machine has folding sides. So when I am not using this machine, I can fold both the front and the back side up, and now it takes up less space on my work table, which I'll talk about how big these are in just a second, so I'll give you those measurements. And if I want to travel with it, it's also really nice to travel with because it's just this nice little caddy with a handle on top, and it's just really easy to travel with, or you could even throw it in a tote bag because it's just nice and small. Also, I'll talk about numbered plates. So with the Big Shot, depending on when you purchased your Big Shot and your platforms and bases, they probably had a numbering system on them. But Stampin' Up! With this new machine has taken the numbering system to a whole new level. So when you order the machine, you get all of these plates included. It's everything you need to get started. You have your base plate, your thin die plate, 2 clear cutting plates, and the specialty plate, which is used for our 3D embossing folders. So with this numbering system, we still have the pictures that show you exactly what you need to use depending on what you are trying to do if you're embossing or die cutting, but it also includes numbering the cutting plates, which is really nice. Sometimes you need one of these, sometimes you need both of them. So having the numbers on there and the numbers on the diagrams helps a little bit with that. And our specialty plate is also numbered as well. So those are a few of the differences. Let's talk about the size differences because I've been getting some questions on that. I measured approximate sizes for these machines, so when they are sitting here open and ready to be used, the Big Shot measures about 8 1/4 inches wide and about 14 inches long. Now that does not include the handle, so the handle is sticking out the side of that. The new Cut and Emboss machine measures about 10 inches wide, so it's a little bit wider than the Big Shot, and it measures 14 inches long, so it's the same length. Now, when I'm able to close this one up, then it measures 6 1/2 inches wide by the 10 inches, or 6 1/2 inches deep by the 10 inches wide, and the handle is still sticking out. So when you close up those sides, it is quite a bit smaller than the Big Shot. There are two other measurements that I feel are really important about this machine that I believe are big improvements over this one. So I want to mention those to you. The first measurement is the inner clearance width going through the machine. So I measured each of these, and the Big Shot clearance width here is just over 6¼ inches. So I have my specialty plate here. It's the same width as all the other plates. You can see how much it moves back and forth. Going to put this plate into the new Cut and Emboss machine and show you how much it moves back and forth now. So you may be wondering, okay, why does that really matter? And the reason is, with a lot of your embossing folders, they are going to be a full 6 inches wide. So when you run them through here, I know I had problems, I don't know how many times, running those through here in my Big Shot, and if I didn't get everything lined up perfectly and something was sticking out the edge just a touch, it could cause damage, get into the edge and cause damage as it runs through that machine. With this machine, we will not have that problem because there's so much extra space here. This one, there is 6½ inches. So it's not even 1/4 inch different between the two machines, but it really seems like a big difference because you do have quite a bit extra space with this one. The other measurement, and I am loving this, is the length of the platform you have right here. Now, I don't know about you, but when I am crafting, I usually have stuff everywhere on my table, and pretty much my whole work surface is covered with something. So when I am preparing my materials to send through my machine, I usually have my platform and everything sitting right on here. So I sit it here, I'm going to put my paper down, my die, my embossing folder, whatever it is. I'm going to add this to it, send it through the machine. With this machine, I can't tell you how many times I would be doing this, I'm working with it, oh, things slip back a little bit, and things get a little out of balance, and all of this falls off the back, okay? If you've used this machine, I'm guessing you know what I'm talking about, okay? It was pretty easy for everything to tip here. With this one, you have about 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch more length on this platform. Plus, you have a little bit extra space up right here under the machine to work with. So what that means is when you put your platform here, you're building your sandwich, you're getting everything ready to go through. It can all move around quite a bit. You have plenty of space to do what you need to do. And unless you get it pulled back really far out of the machine, you can see how much space is up there. Unless it's back really far, it should not fall off. So that is really handy. I'm really excited about that. That's going to be nice to have that extra space. Also, so the purpose of these machines, of course, is to cut and emboss. So I wanted to give you a little bit of comparison on how they compare when they're cutting and embossing. So if you watched part 1 of this series all about the new machine, I showed you some embossing samples and some die cut samples of how the new machine performed. So when I got my new machine, I pulled out 2 of my embossing folders that typically cause problems in the Big Shot. They just didn't always emboss right. Now, don't get me wrong, I love the Big Shot, and for the most part, it worked awesome. But there were times that my embossing folders didn't really emboss as well as they should have. And I'll give you an example of a card I made a few months ago. I did a video on this. You could go back and check it out. But hopefully this doesn't go blurry on you. This one is embossed evenly across the entire surface of that paper. This one is embossed well on the sides and the bottom, and over here is okay. But especially in this area, it did not emboss very well. And I had some other embossing folders that way as well. This Pinewood Planks was one. This was the Scripty. For whatever reason, sometimes it just didn't work great. So with this crumb cake sample, And this one, it worked perfectly. And I tried a few different samples that I've had problems with before in this machine, and they all turned out perfectly the first time. Okay, so let's talk about differences in the die cutting. With this machine, at times, I had to work pretty hard to get particular dies to cut. And I'll show you one example. This is a beauty butterfly die. I made a project a while back with this one and our copper foil paper. And when I did this, I had to lay these on my plates, and this is not the right plate, but I'll use it as an example. I had to put my paper down. I ran it through here 3 or 4 times. I would lift the whole thing up. I'd turn it sideways. I'd run it through 3 or 4 times this way. And then I would finally be able to get all of those pieces of that foil paper to pop out. It took that much work to get it to cut through the whole time, the full way. This one, with the new machine, I did not lay it anywhere in particular on my platform. I ran it through once, I cranked it backwards for a second time, and when I pulled it out of the die, it looked just like this. It cut so well that most of those pieces even stayed stuck inside of the die. Now you can see a couple of the pieces that are still in here. There were a few. And if I poke those with my piercing tool, they are going to pop right out of there. Okay, so that was my first try, my first test with die cutting. And my second was another problem type of die, which are these long, narrow border dies. So I always recommend that you cut these lengthwise running through your machine. I would never suggest that you cut it this way because you're going to get a better cut if you run it through this way. But because I wanted to test out the performance of the machine, I did. I ran one through this way, and I'll show you the results. I ran this one through forward, and I brought it backwards straight through, so it got 2 times through the machine, and I can pop these pieces right out of there, no problem at all. So I am really happy with the performance of this new machine. I really feel like it is a definite improvement over this other one. There's nothing wrong with the Big Shot by any means, but if you are looking to upgrade, to have a few improvements, maybe not have to run those dies through your machine so many times, I really highly suggest this new machine and would love for you to order it through me if you are looking to purchase one. So I'll mention 2 ways that you can either get a discount or get rewards on the purchase of your new machine. If you order the starter kit with Stampin' Up, you can choose $125 worth of products for $99. So you can get this new machine, which is $120. You can add a $5 bonus item. You will get those items for $99 plus tax. You will even get free shipping. And after you have signed up, then you can order all of your future supplies at the demonstrator discount. So that's a great way to save some money on your machine. If you are looking to get some rewards with your order, you can bump your order up to a $150 order. This is if you're placing a regular customer order. At $150, you will get some Hostess credit, you'll get some free items of your choice, and you will also get Stampin' Rewards points through me. I keep track of your points, and when you reach a certain level, you will get a free stamp set of your choice. So I hope this was helpful. I hope this helped you see some differences in a comparison between these 2 machines. Make sure to stop back and check out video number 3, which is going to be me answering some of the frequently asked questions I have been seeing about this new machine. Have a wonderful day. You can get more information and inspiration on my website, scrappingstampingandstuff.com. See you next time.